Okay, so first I'm going to show you um, basic linear regression model. So for that, first I will show you without any data. I mean the data will be creating randomly here. So here you can see that we are importing pandas as PD, and then NumPy, and then matplotlib, and then Seaborn. These all packages we have, and then finally we are importing scikit-learn also. Okay, so if you run it, then it has executed, and then here we are creating some data randomly in x-axis and y-axis. Okay, and then we are displaying those data points using scatter plot x and y. So x we are creating as like this within some random 50 points, and y you are creating like this. Okay, 2x minus 5. So this is just to I mean the relationship we are going to make between x and y. Okay, so if you run this and if you display it in a scatter plot, it will look like this. So this is just that x and y, value of x and value of y, because value of x is used in the value of y. So y equal to 2 is x minus 5 plus this random random functions. Okay, we randomly generate points, data points. So these are the points in a two-dimensional graph, and these are the data points. Now we are going to fit one straight line. Okay, so using linear regression model. So for that we are importing this linear regression from scikit-learn .linear_model. So already you have imported sklearn here. In the last class I told you that in machine learning projects we have to import sklearn. Okay, because there are various of packages available in sklearn, this library. So this library, from this library we are importing linear regression package, and then we are developing a model over here, and linear regression fit underscore intercept equal to true. That means we are going to fit the model. Okay, and you see here this is x fit and this is y fit, and here this y fit model is actually predicting, and then finally we are having this scatter plot and then x fit and y fit. Okay, so this is a straight line. If you run this one, the straight line will be fitted over here on this data point. This straight line has been fitted using this linear regression model. Okay, so this is a good way of seeing how linear regression model can be it can be applied using scikit-learn library. Okay, so this is using random data, and plotting those data on the x-axis and y-axis, and then finally fitting one straight line over there, which is nothing but this straight line. Okay, so and then it gives the results. Now what is the outcome of this fit? That also you can see using this this coefficient beta 0 and beta 1, where beta 0 you remember is in intercept, and beta 1 you remember those things, right? So that also you can print it like this. Model slope is 2.02 and model intercept is minus 0.4.99. okay, so this is the thing. So this is just a simple linear regression model that we have implemented over here, but we haven't considered any data set. Over here. Okay, so I hope it is you have understood this, and also here you can see the prediction is happening over here. Okay, on that data points prediction. That means that when you are fitting the straight line over here, that itself is a predictions. Okay, how good the fit is. So this is there. Now next we are going to see how to take the data set in Google Colab. Okay, how to take the data set using Google Colab, so that we can take the data set of our choice, because in reality we will be having a huge data set normally, not huge data set, it will be having CSV data set and sometimes Excel data file. So those data set you have to take as input, and then we have to do some we have to apply some regression model or classification model. Okay, so for that what I can do, I can for that the rule is different. Okay, so for that the rule is different. What you have to do, we have to mount this drive. You have to mount this drive where your data set is there. So already I have uploaded the this one US underscore housing dataset. This dataset is available in, if you type USA underscore housing dataset, you'll get it in Kaggle. Okay, so in Kaggle you can directly go, and from there you can download this dataset. It will be downloaded in your desktop or whatever, and there from there you can actually have to upload this dataset in the drive, Google Drive first. Okay, I mean the drive where you are actually doing this this machine learning programming. On that drive you have to make available this dataset. So for that, what we should do, we should I already have uploaded a dataset, but anyway I'll try to do it in a second. So here you can see this is done. Now you can see that how to do that. So for that you have to write from google.colab import drive, first thing. Okay, this thing you have to write if you want that dataset to be in drive. So, and before that you have to make available the dataset. Okay, so you have to write from google.colab, because you are using Google Collaboratory. So from google.colab import drive, you have to type this thing first. So this has run successfully, and then drive.mount. This mounting is basically to bring your data set on your local Google Drive and then do something on it. Okay, so drive.mount, and then within :/content/ the data set that I have the drive that I have created is called linear regression. Okay, so that's why linrig I have created this drive. So you see drive already has mounted at content.linear regression. No attempt to forcibly remount. Okay, to attempt to forcibly remount, all call drive.mount. Anyway, so we have executed it. It has again remounted. Okay, and then on doing so, you will be having this icon. If you click this icon, you will see that the drive that you have created on the Google Drive, where your data set is there. So here is the data set, USA.housing. So what you have to do, you have to click here, you have to copy the path. Okay, you have to click, you have to copy the path, and then in this you have to write whatever the variable you want. Let's say data set is my variable. So okay, one second. Yeah, so data set is my variable. So here data set pd.read_csv. so pd stands for pandas object dot read underscore csv, and here you paste the that path you have copied. So now if you execute it, your data set will be there, will be it is with you now on the Google Drive on this platform, this Google Colab platform. Now you can do anything you want with the data set. So first, let's say we are going to print few instances of the data set. So what we will do, dataset.head. So it will print the few instances from the top. Okay, so here how many instances? 4 instances has been displayed. So you can see that which are the attributes: average dot area income, average dot area house age. Okay, all these things are there. Okay, and then finally address. So most probably we are going to predict the price. Remember that. Now let us say from here I can okay, one second. Okay, fine. So this is also done. Now I'll create one. What is happening? Okay. So here let's say Okay, so here let's say I'm going to, so now I have checked the head. So next I'm going to check the information about the data set. Well, what you have to do, I have to just write the variable my dataset dot info. Okay, dataset dot info, and then you print it. You will get all the information, all the detailed information, statistical information also will get. What are the ranges and everything, which type of data types and all, everything will get. Okay, and then next let's say I want to get the I want to get the description of the data set. So for that, what you have to write, just copy it, and here itself you can write description, DSCRIB, describe. Okay, so this will give more detail about the earlier one. Info was not giving you the total thing. Info was just giving you the data types and all. But once you type dataset.describe, it will describe the data set. Okay, what is the count, standard deviation, everything it will print, mean, okay, and then maximum value, everything. Okay, and then after that, let's say you are going to plot the data pairwise. Okay, so for that, what we have to do, we have to once again plotting the data set. For that, what we will do, we will just write SNS. SNS is the object from the, you know, this package which is called Seaborn. Okay, Seaborn is a package. This helps us to, it is actually a bit like matplotlib only, Seaborn. Okay, so here I am writing SNS dot pair plot, pair plot. So pair plot, and then you have to pass this your data, which is nothing but data set. Okay, so what it does, this pair plot is basically used for multiple pairwise bivariate distribution in a data set. Okay, you can use the pair plot function to show the pairwise relationship in a data set. Okay, pairwise relationship. So let's see. Sometimes what happened, due to the internet connection, okay, so this is the pairwise connection. So you can see that average area income, and then this is average area house age, this is average area number of rooms. So all the attributes are, and then average area house age here. Okay, so you can understand. So with let's say average area number of rooms, along with that average area income, how the distribution is like this. Okay, let's say average area number of bedrooms with average area houses, how the distribution is like this. Okay, so this all relationship you can actually, and then from here you can actually see that how the plot is and how the data points are behaving. I mean the attributes are behaving, two attributes are behaving, how they are behaving. Okay, so you can imagine that this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis, right? So like that, all the relationship, all pairwise relationship we can see from here. Okay, next let's say you want to see the distribution of price. Okay, distribution of price, because as I said that price we are going to predict at the end, this one. So distribution of price, you want to see how it actually looks like. So for that, what you have to write, SNS dot dist this plot, distribution of plot, and then here data set, and then PRI. Don't forget to put this one, what do you call, comma, inverted comma. Okay, now this is the price plot. You can see the price plot. This is the price plot. Okay, this is the price plot, looks like. So this is count 0, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300. That means from here onwards the price has been shoot up. Okay, so I don't know in which unit it is in, but from the middle of this point the price is more, so it is a bit like a normal distribution. You can see, okay, nice distribution, it looks good, it's a bell curve. Okay, then let's say pairwise correlation you want to see. Pairwise correlation, pairwise correlations, data set. So correlation data set dot correlation, if you write CO double R, correlation function stands for CO double R. This is the correlation. This is the correlation. Okay, this is a correlation, pairwise correlation of all columns in a data frame. Okay, and let's say you want to see the correlation value. So correlation, okay, correlation value. So for that, what you have to do, you have to just write okay, correlation. Now there is another thing which is called heat map. Okay, so heat map is actually depicts the values for a main variable of interest. So seeing the heat map and the color, you can decide that which variable has a lot of importance and participation is more. So for that, heat map is quite catchy. So sometimes using heat map you can understand which variable is the interest across two axis variable as a grid of colored square. So heat map will come in terms of grid. So let's see how heat map works. So let's say SNS dot heat map, SNS dot heat map dataset dot correlation. So this is interesting actually. Okay, it's not working. Don't know, or data set, why it is not working. SNS dot SNS dot heat map. I wrote dataset dot heat map, SNS dot heat map. So this is the heat map. Okay, so seeing the heat map, we can see that this type of graphics you will get many places in machine learning application. Okay, this type of things comes in neural network also when you display the activation maps. So printing this kind of matrix is helpful, and it describes a lot of things about your model. So always remember, whenever you are going to develop some model, you can display the heat map. Okay, and in neural network also, when you will see when you will implement the neural network, we will see layer wise how neural network activation function behaves. That time also such kind of that was not heat map, that was called activation map. But these type of maps are there in machine learning in many places. So this is little bit next level things, because normally students used to do accuracy and all, but if you show this in any project, then the evaluator will understand that you have gone through you have actually implemented the project. So and then seeing the heat map, we can actually say that which variable is of most important. So here you can see the black, these diagonal things are all, this is whitish. Okay, these are all black. So anyway, this the explanation of this heat map is a different thing. We'll see one day how to explain this thing. But you see, all the diagonals are related to each other. Okay, so diagonals are self-related. So that's why these all are whitish little bit. And then if you want to display the heat map, the correlation value, so for that you have to just write here annotation ANNOT annotate equal to true. Sorry. So if you write this, then all the values will be displayed. Okay, so here seeing the value, we can say that these two are having maximum values 0.46. That means the relationship between average area number of rooms and this one, average area number of bedrooms, these two are related. And then this, as I said, these all are 1 1 1 maximum value, this diagonal value, because all diagonals are related to all this, every variable is related to itself, right? average area is related to itself, average area house age is related, so that's why these values are maximum. Apart from that, we can see that average area number of rooms and average area number of bedrooms, these two also having quite good values, which is 0.46. The next one is the first highest value, and after that we have this 0.46. Also here you can see that this red one, this not red, it's a little bit orange, this value also has a high, so that means average area income and price, they are related to each other, correlated to each other heavily. That's why this value is 0.64. Similarly here also price and price and average area income, price and average area income are also highly related to each other, correlated to each other. Okay, fine. So, and then this is done, and then so what we can do, and we can type columns here. If you type let's say dataset dot columns, it will display all the columns, all that. So here we have printed all the attributes, and now in the data frame X, let us have this all no attributes, and then the final the attributes that we are going to predict is nothing but price. So let us store it in small y equal to data set price. After that we have to import this train and test split. Okay, so for that we can we can have this sklearn.model underscore selection import train test split. So if you execute it, it will help us to split the now we will be having this we'll be importing this linear regression from scikit-learn again. So we have imported it, and then we are going to call the function, and then we'll call this function as linear regression, which is lin regress. And you see here we're trying to fit the straight line. Okay, and after that we are going to evaluate the model that we have developed here. So for that we are going to print linear regression dot intercepts underscore. So this will, let us first run it. Okay, so here we are getting the intercept value, and then let us also have the coefficient. Let us store it in the coefficient variable, where we have this panda object dot within bracket linear regress dot coef. Okay, or you can call it, we can keep it as linear coefficient. Okay, and then coef underscore, and comma, so successfully executed this command. Now we are going to uh, predict from our model how the model is working on the test data. So for that we will just simply have another variable, let's call it predict equal to linear linear regress, and here we have this x dot, and if I want to print the coefficient, it will be, so these are the coefficients you can see that I have printed here. Next, after printing the coefficient, we can predict the this model how it will be. The I mean, next we are going to do the prediction part, where on the developed model we will be trying to fit the linear regression on the test data sets. So for that I'm creating one variable called pred, which is equal to linear regress, and then so next you can see that I have here this variable pred. I am actually predicting the with the help of the developed model, linear regression model. I am actually predicting upon test data set. Okay, and then finally I'll be plotting it. I'll be plotting on scatter plot. Scatter plot where this predicted output and actual test data will be displayed in x-axis and y-axis. So this will give us a distinct idea about how this regression model works. So you can see that this is the model we have. Next we are going to see the same thing using residual histogram. Okay, residual histogram has been displayed where prediction y underscore test and prediction both have been displayed. Okay, so in terms of histogram, so this is all about the linear regression. I hope I have covered everything. This is the basic simple linear regression model. Next we are going to see the other variant of regression models. Okay, like logistic regression and other regression models. So thanks for watching.